It's now coming up on 6:33. A number of federal workers who are feeling the brunt of the partial government shutdown are planning protests across the country today. From Staten Island and D.C. out west to Utah, hundreds of furloughed federal workers will hold rallies demanding for the government to reopen.
The workers include IRS employees, air traffic controllers, flight attendants, and more. Thousands of people affected by the shutdown are in danger again this week of not receiving their paycheck. Meanwhile, President Trump visits the U.S.-Mexico border today as he continues to push for that border wall funding.
Yesterday, another round of talks broke down, leaving no end in sight for the government shutdown that's now 20 days old. Mark Liverman reports.
20 days into the partial government shutdown, President Trump is getting out of Washington. He's headed to Texas, where he'll visit the U.S.-Mexico border. The trip comes a day after another meeting with congressional leaders made no progress in ending the standoff.
Our meeting did not last long.
The negotiations ended abruptly when both sides refused to budge over the president's demands for $5.7 billion for border wall funding. He tweeted that the meeting was a total waste of time.
There will be no deal without a wall. There will be no deal without the priorities the president has put on the table.
We saw a temper tantrum because he couldn't get his way and he just walked out of the meeting.
You're doing the right thing.
Earlier in the Oval Office, the president said he's heard plenty of support from some of the 800,000 federal workers not getting paid.
I hope we're going to have the situation worked out. But they want security in our country, and so do I.
They'll all miss their first paycheck this week. It's frustrating for Ashley Totten, whose husband is in the Coast Guard.
For me, it's just a lot of talk and no action.
It's the only branch of the military not being paid during the shutdown. The Coast Guard posted but then removed a flyer with suggestions on how to make money in the meantime. It included things like babysitting, walking pets, and having a garage sale.
How do you tell an infant and a 2-year-old, like, hey, let's sell your toys because mommy and daddy need money?
Workers will receive back pay after the shutdown ends. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
House Democrats passed a bill last night to reopen the Treasury Department and plan to pass other legislation to reopen various agencies. But the Senate's top Republican, Mitch McConnell, says he won't bring any vote to the floor that doesn't have the president's support.
Treasury